All right, so today we're gonna look at maybe dimming that logo light. Sometimes, you know, the logo light looks great on the showroom floor, and it's a great indicator to tell you if something's going on or needs attention or whatever. But there are other times where, you know, these external lights, you want them off, and that light, if it's facing a bedroom, can be a little distracting or a little too bright. And we can either disconnect it or we can dim it. And in this video, we're gonna look at dimming it and or disconnecting it. So the first thing that we gotta do is we gotta take off 6 screws on the Limelights, the Hot Spring Limelight. So we're looking at a beam spa right now. 6 screws off. When you take the door off, I'm gonna do this off camera because I'm holding a camera here. When you take the door off, there is a wire that is connected to this spa. So you wanna make sure that you can disconnect it. If you pull it off, it's gonna rip the wire and then it'll permanently be disabled because you can't reattach it. So hang tight and we're gonna take this door off. Okay, so I got all the screws off, and I don't know if you can really tell, but my feet, I just got the toes of my feet kind of holding the door up, and I'm just gonna lift this door up, kind of pull out from the bottom, let it rest on my feet. Again, I don't know if you can see it there, and I'm just gonna let it kind of pull out here. And this is the wire that I'm talking about. It's got like a little screw that holds it in place. You wanna make sure you disconnect that. I'm wondering if I can do that. There you go. So I disconnected that. You pull away too fast and you can rip it. So the logo light is off here. Next, we're gonna get into this IQ box. I'll turn on a light and you can kind of take a look there. All right, so I loosened the screws on this IQ box. Quick tidbit, when you put the screws back in this, you don't want the screws super tight because there's no need to make them super tight, but it can be really difficult to get them off again if you ever need to get in here. And what we're looking for in here, so in the top right-hand corner, you can see after this jumble of stuff here, there's a white button right there. So that white button is what we have to push with power on. So again, there's power on. We're gonna push this, and this should go into the service menu. And let me adjust the camera and we'll get into this. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is somewhat clear to see. We tried to do this without lights. But anyway, so we're in our service mode. Now this is really important. It's super easy to mess up your hot tub here. So please do not change any settings that you do not need to change. So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're going to hit next. We're gonna go down to configuration and we're gonna hit select. So we're using the soft buttons to change things. So here you can see this is a 220 volt configured beam. This is a 220 only model. So that's why if you are looking at and you have a beam, it might be a little different setup than what you have. But we're just gonna hit next until we get to the exterior logo lights. So you can see there's no blower. I don't think Hot Spring hasn't used blowers in, I don't think ever. So I don't even know why it's on there. There's no music on here. We're gonna keep going. Heater concurrent is enabled. Obviously that's a 220 model. There's multiple zone lighting because they have kind of the same type of software for every single spa, so other spas are going to be different. Jet timeout, music, spa lock enable, phase 3 disable. This is exterior lights. These are these lights over here, so please do not mess with those. Let's see if I can refocus here. Model Limelight, logo high brightness enable. So we're gonna actually go ahead and disable the high brightness. Again, I don't know if you can see that. So I'm gonna hit disable here, and then we're gonna hit next, and then you can see it says logo low brightness enable. We're gonna leave that enabled, and that should do it. I think go through, now we're back to normal. So we can hit back. So now that high brightness is enabled, we're gonna just restart the spa. And you can do this by turning off the breakers. We're in my store, so I can't do that as easily. I have shunts that I gotta power on, or I can hold this little white button again, and I just need to hold it down. So I pressed it in, the whole thing shut down, and it's gonna restart. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put everything back together, and you're gonna be able to see what is different. Okay, so as you can see, I put everything back together. Again, in hindsight, I should have probably turned off the exterior lights. But I can tell there's already a huge drastic difference. It is not nearly as blinding when you're looking at this light. Now, so there's basically 2 levels. There's super high and kind of mild. Again, you know, looking at how much light it's giving off, it's definitely a lot less. It's probably about 75% less bright. Okay, I should have turned off the exterior lights. Put everything back together, everything's good. Again, if this is still too bright, I mean, this logo light's not telling you anything that your control panel's not, so you can always just disconnect it. Again, just be careful, don't pull on that wire, otherwise you could pull it too hard and break it. I've seen it happen a couple times. But hopefully this video helps you. And for those of you wondering, you can also do this on High Life. Eventually I'll make a video on that as well. And we'll talk soon.